Have you ever stopped to wonder why some people seem to have an undeniable presence, a magnetism that draws success toward them? It's not always their skills, their wealth, or their connections. More often than not, it's something intangible, an energy, a belief, a way of being that sets them apart. These people aren't waiting for the world to validate their greatness. They carry themselves as if they already are everything they aspire to be. The secret: they act as if they are the best, as if no one is better than them. Now, this idea may make you uncomfortable at first. Isn't it arrogant to think of yourself as the best? Isn't it presumptuous? But here's the truth: it's not about arrogance, it's about awareness. It's not about looking down on others, it's about lifting yourself up to the level you were always meant to be at. The real question isn't whether you deserve to think this way, it's why you've allowed yourself to think any differently. Think back to a time when you doubted yourself, when you hesitated to take a step because you weren't sure if you were good enough. What happened? Did the world stop for you? Did the opportunities wait? Or did they move on, taken by someone else who dared to step forward with the confidence you lacked? This is the harsh truth. The world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards belief. And the most powerful form of belief is the kind that you carry within yourself, the belief that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of the best. What if I told you that the difference between where you are now and where you want to be is not as far as it seems? The gap isn't measured by skills or resources, it's measured by your mindset. Imagine for a moment stepping into the shoes of the person you always admired, the one who seems fearless, unstoppable, and unshaken by doubt. What if you could live as that person today, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now? You see, the mind is a powerful tool. It doesn't differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. When you act as if you are the best, your mind begins to align with that belief. Your posture changes. Your voice carries more conviction. Your actions become deliberate and bold. And the world notices. It's not magic, it's psychology. People respond to how you present yourself, and when you exude confidence, opportunities seem to appear out of thin air. But here's the catch: you can't fake this. Acting as if you're the best doesn't mean pretending. It means stepping into a version of yourself that already exists, but has been buried under layers of doubt, fear, and hesitation. It's about peeling back those layers and letting your true self shine. Let me ask you this: who told you that you weren't good enough? Who planted the seed of self-doubt in your mind? Was it someone else's opinion, a failure you couldn't shake, or perhaps a belief you adopted because it felt safer than trying and failing? Whatever the source, it's time to let it go. It's time to reclaim the narrative of your life and rewrite it on your terms. Here's the beauty of this approach: you don't need anyone's permission to act as if you are the best. You don't need validation from the world to carry yourself with confidence. The moment you decide to believe in yourself, everything changes. You start to see opportunities where there were none. You take risks that once felt impossible. You attract people who recognize your value because, for the first time, you're radiating it from within. But this isn't a journey for the faint-hearted. Acting as if you are the best requires courage. It means silencing the voice in your head that tells you to play small. It means walking into every room as if you belong there, even when your knees are shaking. It means committing to a vision of yourself that may feel uncomfortable at first because it's so much bigger than the version of you that you've been living as. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that today is the day you stop apologizing for wanting more. That today is the day you stop shrinking to make others comfortable. That today is the day you walk, talk, and act as if you are the best, not because you have something to prove, but because you have something to become. The choice is yours. You can continue to live as a shadow of your potential, or you can step into the light and claim the greatness that has always been yours. The world is waiting to see what you will do. And trust me, when you act as if you are the best, it won't just be watching, it will be following your lead. Stay with me as we dive deeper into how you can adopt this mindset, embody it fully, and watch as it transforms your life in ways you never imagined. Because once you master this, you'll never look at yourself or your future the same way again. Your perception of yourself is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. If you see yourself as unworthy, incapable, or insignificant, the world will reflect those beliefs right back at you. This isn't just a philosophical notion, it's a psychological truth. The mind constantly seeks evidence to support the beliefs you hold. If you believe you're not good enough, you'll notice every failure, every criticism, and every rejection. But when you choose to perceive yourself as the best, as someone who is deserving of success, your focus shifts. You begin to notice opportunities, support, and success around every corner. Think of your perception as a lens through which you view the world. A dirty or scratched lens will distort everything you see, making the world seem harsh or unforgiving. But if you clean that lens and focus on clarity, suddenly everything looks brighter, clearer, and more achievable. When you act as if you're the best, you're essentially polishing the lens of your perception. You're allowing yourself to see the world as a place where success is not only possible but inevitable. This change in perception doesn't just alter how you see yourself, it changes how others see you. People are highly intuitive. They pick up on the energy you project. When you walk into a room believing you are the best, your energy shifts. You become magnetic, drawing people and opportunities toward you. It's not about arrogance, it's about confidence that is rooted in self-awareness and self-belief. Your perception shapes your actions as well. When you believe you are the best, you take bold steps. You approach challenges with the mindset of a winner, not a victim. This creates a ripple effect. One bold action leads to another, and before you know it, you've built momentum. Success becomes not a distant dream, but a daily reality because your perception guides your choices. This isn't to say that you'll never face obstacles or moments of doubt. But when your perception of yourself is rooted in strength and confidence, even setbacks take on a different meaning. Instead of seeing them as proof of your inadequacy, you see them as stepping stones, necessary parts of the journey. You view failures as lessons, not verdicts, because your perception tells you that nothing can permanently derail your path. Perception is powerful because it operates both consciously and subconsciously. Even when you're not actively thinking about your worth, your subconscious mind is working behind the scenes to align your actions with your beliefs. By acting as if you are the best, you're programming your subconscious to seek out opportunities, overcome challenges, and gravitate towards success. Your perception is your reality. You cannot control the opinions or actions of others, but you can control how you see yourself. And when you choose to see yourself as the best, the world begins to reflect that belief back to you. The transformation starts within and radiates outward, shaping your life in ways you never thought possible. Confidence is not a static quality, it's a living, breathing force that moves through every action you take. It's the invisible energy that can either propel you forward or hold you back. When you act as if you are the best, you tap into a reservoir of confidence that already exists within you. This isn't the shallow, fleeting confidence that comes from external validation. It's a deep, intrinsic belief that you are capable, deserving, and prepared for greatness. Think about a time when you felt truly confident when you walked into a situation knowing you had what it takes to succeed. How did people respond to you? Chances are they gravitated toward you, trusted your decisions, and respected your presence. Confidence is contagious. When you act as if you're the best, you exude an energy that others can't help but notice. It's not about being the loudest or most assertive person in the room. It's about carrying an unshakable inner calm that says, I belong here. Confidence doesn't just change how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. When you act with confidence, you take on challenges that once seemed intimidating. You step outside of your comfort zone, not because you're fearless, but because your belief in your abilities outweighs your fear. This shift in mindset is powerful. It allows you to grow, to learn, and to achieve things you once thought were out of reach. The energetic force of confidence also creates opportunities. People are drawn to those who believe in themselves because that belief inspires trust. Whether it's in relationships, business, or personal growth, confidence opens doors that hesitation would leave closed. When you act as if you are the best, you send a signal to the world that you are ready for what's next, and the world responds accordingly. But here's the secret: confidence doesn't have to come from experience or success. It can be cultivated simply by choosing to act as if you already have it. The brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined scenarios. When you carry yourself as if you are the best, you're training your mind to accept that as your truth. Over time, this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you act confident, the more confident you become. Confidence also fuels resilience. When setbacks arise, a confident person doesn't crumble, they adapt. They understand that failure is temporary, not a reflection of their worth. Acting as if you're the best helps you develop this resilience because it keeps you focused on your potential rather than your limitations. At its core, confidence is an energy that transforms your presence, your actions, and your outcomes. It's not something you wait for, it's something you create. And when you act as if you are the best, you're not just projecting confidence, you're embodying it. The mind is a powerful tool and it thrives on repetition. The beliefs you hold today are the result of thoughts you've repeated to yourself over and over again. When you choose to act as if you are the best, you're essentially reprogramming your mind to adopt this belief as your reality. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a deliberate and transformative process that can change the trajectory of your life. Think of your mind as fertile soil. Whatever you plant and nurture will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and inadequacy, that's what will take root. But when you plant seeds of confidence, belief, and excellence, your mind begins to align with those ideas. Acting as if you are the best is like watering these seeds daily, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving greatness. This reprogramming process works because the subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between truth and imagination. When you act as if you are the best, your subconscious begins to accept this as a fact. Over time, it adjusts your thoughts, feelings, and actions to align with this new belief. You start to make decisions that reflect your confidence, take actions that demonstrate your capability, and attract opportunities that resonate with your elevated mindset. One of the most powerful aspects of this process is its ability to overcome self-doubt. Doubt thrives in the absence of belief, but when you consistently act as if you're the best, you crowd out those doubts. The mind cannot hold two conflicting beliefs at once. By focusing on the belief that you are the best, you weaken the hold that doubt has over you. This reprogramming isn't just internal, it manifests externally. When your mind is aligned with the belief that you are the best, your actions become intentional and purposeful. You approach challenges with a sense of certainty, and this certainty is evident to those around you. People begin to treat you differently, not because they've changed, but because you've changed how you show up in the world. The beauty of reprogramming your mind is that it doesn't require perfection, it requires consistency. Every time you act as if you are the best, you reinforce the neural pathways that support this belief. Over time, these pathways become stronger, making the belief second nature. Acting as if you are the best is not about faking it until you make it. It's about aligning your actions with the truth of your potential. The more you embody this mindset, the more your mind will work to turn it into your reality. It's a cycle of transformation that starts with a single choice: to act as if you are already the best version of yourself. The law of assumption is one of the most transformative principles you can apply to your life. At its core, this law states that whatever you assume to be true will manifest as your reality. When you act as if you are the best, you are actively applying the law of assumption to align your beliefs with the life you want to create. This isn't about pretending or faking, it's about embodying the truth you want to live. Assumptions are powerful because they influence everything you do. If you assume success is out of reach, your actions will reflect that belief. You'll hesitate, overthink, and shy away from opportunities. But when you assume that you are the best, your actions change. You take bold steps, embrace challenges, and seize opportunities because your assumption of success propels you forward. The law of assumption works on a deeper level than conscious thought. It engages your subconscious mind, which is the driver of most of your decisions and actions. When you consistently act as if you are the best, your subconscious begins to accept this assumption as fact. It starts to filter your experiences, highlighting evidence that supports your belief while minimizing anything that contradicts it. One of the most fascinating aspects of this law is how it influences your interactions with others. When you assume you are the best, people pick up on your energy. They begin to treat you as someone who is confident, capable, and deserving of respect. This creates a feedback loop. Your assumption changes your behavior, which changes how others perceive you, which reinforces your assumption. Critics might call this unrealistic, but think of the great achievers throughout history. Many of them started with nothing but an unshakable assumption of their own greatness. They didn't wait for external validation to believe in themselves. They acted as if they were already successful, and the world eventually caught up to their belief. Applying the law of assumption requires consistency and discipline. You may not feel like the best every day, but that's irrelevant. The law works because you act as if, regardless of your emotions or circumstances. It's about maintaining the belief long enough for it to reshape your reality. The law of assumption is not about waiting for proof. It's about creating proof through your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. When you act as if you are the best, you are not just imagining a better life, you are calling it into existence. Acting as if you are the best is a liberating practice because it frees you from the need to compare yourself to others. Comparison is a trap, a game with no winners. When you constantly measure yourself against others, you place limits on your own potential. But when you assume the mindset that you are the best, you shift your focus inward, prioritizing self-mastery over external validation. Comparison often stems from insecurity. It's the result of looking outward for confirmation of your worth rather than looking within. But the truth is, no one else's journey can diminish your value. When you act as if you are the best, you stop competing with others and start competing with yourself. You measure your progress not against someone else's path, but against your own growth. This detachment doesn't mean ignoring others or isolating yourself. It means recognizing that their success doesn't take away from your own. The world is abundant, with enough space for everyone to thrive. When you act as if you are the best, you contribute to this abundance by showing up as your authentic, confident self. Detaching from comparison also allows you to focus on your unique strengths. No one else has your exact combination of skills, experiences, and perspectives. Acting as if you are the best means embracing these qualities fully, without the need to conform to someone else's standards. It's about realizing that your individuality is your superpower. When you stop comparing, you also free yourself from unnecessary stress and doubt. Comparison breeds envy, which drains your energy and clouds your vision. Acting as if you are the best shifts your energy back to where it belongs, on your goals, your growth, and your journey. This mindset also protects you from external negativity. People may try to undermine your confidence, but when you're not seeking their approval, their opinions lose their power. Acting as if you are the best creates an inner fortress, making you resilient against criticism and doubt. Detachment from comparison is not about ignoring others, it's about honoring yourself. When you act as if you are the best, you embrace the truth that your path is uniquely yours. You don't need to look left or right, you only need to move forward. How you carry yourself says more about you than your words ever could. Acting as if you are the best starts with your body language and presence. Before you even speak, your posture, movements, and expressions communicate volumes about your confidence and self-belief. Consider the posture of someone who believes they are the best. They stand tall, with their shoulders back and their head held high. Their movements are deliberate, not rushed or hesitant. Their presence commands attention because it radiates assurance. This isn't arrogance, it's a quiet confidence that speaks without words. Your body language also has a profound impact on your internal state. Studies show that adopting powerful postures can actually increase feelings of confidence and reduce stress. When you stand and move like someone who is the best, your mind begins to align with that image. It's a feedback loop. Your body influences your mind, and your mind reinforces your body's behavior. Presence goes beyond posture. It's about the energy you bring into a space. Acting as if you are the best means being fully present in the moment, giving your undivided attention to the task at hand. It's about making eye contact, listening actively, and engaging with others as an equal, not as someone seeking approval. This presence creates an aura of magnetism. People are drawn to those who exude confidence and focus. When you act as if you are the best, you don't need to dominate conversations or seek attention. Your presence alone is enough to make an impact. Your tone of voice and the way you speak also contribute to your presence. Speaking clearly and confidently without rushing or mumbling shows that you value your words and believe they deserve to be heard. This reinforces the perception that you are someone worth listening to. Body language and presence are not superficial tricks. They are tools for aligning your external behavior with your inner belief. When you act as if you are the best, you don't just think differently, you move, speak, and exist differently. This alignment is what makes the mindset so powerful. Your body language and presence are the first and most lasting impressions you leave. When they reflect the belief that you are the best, they set the tone for every interaction and opportunity that follows. Faith in your abilities is the bedrock of confidence. It is the unwavering belief that, regardless of the challenges you face or the circumstances surrounding you, you have what it takes to succeed. Acting as if you are the best requires a deep sense of faith in your own potential, faith that doesn't waver in the face of doubt or adversity. This faith is not about knowing every step of the journey, but trusting that you'll find the way forward no matter what. When you act as if you are the best, you operate from a place of certainty. You no longer question whether you're good enough or capable enough. Instead, you trust that your skills, experiences, and intuition will guide you. This doesn't mean you won't encounter failure or make mistakes. It means you view those setbacks as opportunities to grow, not as evidence of inadequacy. Faith in your abilities also shapes how you approach challenges. When you believe in yourself, you see problems as puzzles to solve, not as roadblocks. This perspective shifts your energy from fear to curiosity and from hesitation to action. Instead of avoiding risks, you embrace them because you trust that you can handle whatever comes your way. This kind of faith is self-reinforcing. The more you act as if you are the best, the more evidence you gather to support that belief. Each small success, each step forward, becomes a building block for your confidence. Over time, this creates a powerful momentum that propels you toward bigger and bolder achievements. Faith in your abilities doesn't mean ignoring your weaknesses. It means recognizing that those weaknesses are simply areas for growth, not limitations. Acting as if you are the best encourages you to face those weaknesses head on, knowing that they don't define you. This belief also transforms your relationships with others. When you have faith in yourself, you don't feel threatened by the success or abilities of others. Instead, you can celebrate their achievements while remaining secure in making your own path. This mindset fosters collaboration, respect, and mutual growth. Faith in your abilities is what allows you to act as if you are the best without hesitation or doubt. It's a commitment to yourself, a promise that you will show up fully regardless of the challenges ahead. And that faith, once established, becomes an unshakable foundation for everything you build. Magnetism is the natural byproduct of assurance. When you act as if you are the best, you exude a quiet, undeniable confidence that draws people and opportunities toward you. This isn't the loud, attention-seeking confidence of arrogance. It's the steady, grounded energy of someone who knows their worth and doesn't need external validation to prove it. People are naturally attracted to those who project self-assurance. This is because confidence inspires trust. When you act as if you are the best, you communicate to others that you are capable, reliable, and prepared. Whether in professional settings, personal relationships, or social interactions, this magnetism opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. This assurance also makes you a source of inspiration. When people see someone who believes in themselves, it encourages them to do the same. Your magnetism becomes a force that uplifts others, creating a ripple effect of positivity and empowerment. By acting as if you are the best, you don't just improve your own life, you influence those around you in profound and meaningful ways. Magnetism isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. People are drawn to individuals who are unapologetically themselves, flaws and all. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean pretending to be someone you're not. It means fully embracing who you are and showing up with confidence in that truth. This assurance also changes how you handle criticism or rejection. When you know your worth, you don't crumble under the weight of negativity. Instead, you remain steadfast, understanding that other people's opinions don't define you. This resilience only adds to your magnetism, making you someone who is admired for their strength and composure. Your assurance doesn't need to be loud or boastful. Often, the most magnetic people are those who exude a calm, quiet confidence. They don't demand attention, they command it through their presence, their actions, and their unwavering belief in themselves. Magnetism through assurance is a natural outcome of acting as if you are the best. It's not something you force or fabricate, it's something that emerges when you align your actions, beliefs, and energy with your true potential. And once you cultivate this magnetism, it becomes a powerful tool for attracting the life you want. Persistence and resilience are the driving forces behind acting as if you are the best. They are the qualities that keep you moving forward even when the path is unclear or the odds seem stacked against you. Acting as if you are the best isn't just about confidence, it's about the determination to keep going, no matter what challenges arise. Persistence is the willingness to put in the work, day after day, regardless of immediate results. When you act as if you are the best, you approach every task with the mindset of someone who is destined for success. This doesn't mean everything will come easily, in fact. The opposite is often true. But persistence ensures that you stay the course, pushing through obstacles and setbacks until you achieve your goals. Resilience, on the other hand, is your ability to bounce back from failure. Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean you won't face difficulties, it means you won't let those difficulties define you. Resilience allows you to view failure as a learning experience, not as a permanent defeat. It gives you the strength to get back up, no matter how many times you fall. These qualities are deeply interconnected. Persistence fuels resilience by keeping you focused on the bigger picture, while resilience supports persistence by helping you recover from setbacks. Together, they create an unstoppable combination that enables you to act as if you are the best, even in the face of adversity. When you act with persistence and resilience, you develop a reputation for being reliable, determined, and unshakable. People begin to trust you, not just because of your confidence, but because of your ability to follow through and overcome challenges. This trust opens new opportunities and solidifies your position as someone who is truly the best. Persistence and resilience also strengthen your internal belief system. Every challenge you overcome becomes proof that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. This builds a sense of self-efficacy, a belief in your ability to succeed. The more persistent and resilient you are, the stronger this belief becomes, creating a positive feedback loop of confidence and determination. Persistence and resilience are what transform acting as if you are the best from a mindset into a way of life. They ensure that you don't just aspire to greatness, you achieve it, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. The idea that your external reality is a direct reflection of your internal beliefs is both profound and empowering. When you act as if you are the best, you are not just changing how you think, you are actively reshaping the world around you. This principle operates on a fundamental truth: what you believe about yourself, the world, and your place in it creates the conditions of your life. By aligning your actions with the belief that you are the best, you initiate a ripple effect that transforms your circumstances. Let's start with the science behind this idea. The brain is equipped with a system called the reticular activating system (RAS), which filters the overwhelming amount of information you encounter every day. The RAS focuses your attention on what you deem important, what you believe matters most. If you believe you are the best, your RAS filters for opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with that belief. It's not that these opportunities didn't exist before, it's that your mind wasn't tuned to see them. Acting as if you are the best trains your brain to prioritize what supports your success. This alignment between belief and reality becomes even more evident in how others perceive you. People are intuitive, they pick up on the energy you project. When you act as if you are the best, you emit confidence, assurance, and purpose. Others are drawn to this energy because it inspires trust and admiration. Whether in professional environments, personal relationships, or casual interactions, people begin to treat you according to the way you carry yourself. This creates a self-reinforcing loop where your belief in yourself encourages others to believe in you as well. The reflection of belief in reality is also evident in your decision making. When you believe you are the best, you approach decisions with clarity and conviction. You don't hesitate or second guess yourself because you trust your judgment. This decisiveness allows you to act quickly and effectively, capitalizing on opportunities that others might miss. Over time, this pattern of confident decision making leads to tangible results, further reinforcing your belief in your capabilities. But what about challenges? Acting as if you are the best doesn't mean you won't face difficulties. In fact, it often means embracing challenges head on. The difference lies in your perspective. When you believe you are the best, you see obstacles not as insurmountable barriers but as opportunities for growth. This mindset shifts your focus from what's going wrong to what you can do to overcome it. As a result, even setbacks become stepping stones on your path to success. This principle also works on a deeper subconscious level. Your beliefs act as a blueprint for your subconscious mind, guiding your actions even when you're not consciously aware of it. When you consistently act as if you are the best, you program your subconscious to align with this belief. Over time, this alignment shapes your habits, behaviors, and attitudes, creating a reality that mirrors your internal state. For example, you might find yourself taking on new challenges, networking with influential people, or pursuing opportunities that once seemed out of reach, all because your subconscious is driving you toward what you believe you deserve. One of the most transformative aspects of this principle is its impact on your self-image. When you act as if you are the best, you begin to see yourself in a new light. This shift in self-perception is crucial because how you see yourself sets the tone for how others see you. A strong, positive self-image empowers you to take risks, embrace your strengths, and acknowledge your worth. It allows you to move through the world with a sense of purpose and authenticity that is impossible to ignore. Critics might argue that this approach sounds idealistic, but the truth is that it's rooted in practicality. Your beliefs dictate your actions, and your actions create your results. If you believe you are the best, you act in ways that support that belief, whether it's by taking on leadership roles, pursuing ambitious goals, or simply showing up with confidence in your daily life. These actions lead to real, measurable outcomes that validate your belief, proving once again that reality reflects what you hold true. However, this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistency and commitment. Acting as if you are the best means showing up every day with the same energy, regardless of your circumstances. It means maintaining your belief in yourself even when the results aren't immediately visible. This persistence is what turns a temporary mindset into a lasting reality. Another important aspect of this principle is the role of gratitude. When you act as if you are the best, you naturally attract success. Cultivating gratitude for these successes, no matter how small, reinforces your belief and keeps you focused on the positive aspects of your journey. Gratitude also shifts your perspective from scarcity to abundance, reminding you that there is always more to achieve and more to be thankful for. The reflection of belief in reality is not just a theory, it's a process you can experience firsthand. When you act as if you are the best, you set in motion a series of events that align your internal state with your external circumstance. Over time, this alignment creates a life that mirrors your highest aspirations. The key is to trust the process, remain consistent, and remember that the power to shape your reality lies within you. Your beliefs are not just thoughts, they are the foundation of everything you create. By acting as if you are the best, you are not merely imagining a better future, you are building it, one action and one belief at a time. You hold the power to transform your life, and it begins with a single decision: to act as if you are the best. This mindset is not about arrogance or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about stepping into the highest version of yourself and living with confidence, purpose, and intention. The world responds to how you perceive yourself. When you act as if you are the best, you invite success, attract opportunities, and inspire others to see your worth. This is not a one-time act, it's a way of life. It's about waking up every day and choosing to believe in your abilities, your potential, and your purpose. It's about carrying yourself with the assurance that you belong wherever you go, that no challenge is too great, and that no setback can stop you. By aligning your actions with the belief that you are the best, you reprogram your mind, magnetize opportunities, and shape a reality that reflects your highest aspirations. But remember, this journey requires persistence and resilience. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the path feels uncertain. In those times, remind yourself that acting as if you are the best is not about the absence of fear, it's about moving forward despite it. It's about trusting that your belief in yourself will create the momentum you need to keep going. The world is waiting for you to step into your greatness. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that you can have it. So start today, walk into every room, face every challenge, and approach every opportunity as if you are the best, because when you do, the world will begin to reflect that truth back to you. Your reality will shift, and you'll discover that you've been the best all along. If you have this sign, God is about to heal you. It is not a sign that you can see with your physical eyes or one that you can touch with your hands. It is not a sign given to you by some external force, nor is it something that you must wait for, hoping it will come to you. The sign I speak of is something within you, something that is always present, waiting for you to recognize it. Do you know what this sign is? It is the feeling of relief. It is the moment when your burden lightens, when the weight you have been carrying, the pain, the sickness, the suffering, whatever it may be, begins to feel as if it is lifting from you. It is the shift within you, the shift in consciousness that occurs when you finally realize that you are not subject to the conditions around you. You are not subject to the appearance of illness, disease, or despair. You are subject only to the power that is within you. Now, the sign is subtle at first. It is the shift in your imagination. You see, before healing can manifest in the world around you, it must first take place in your mind. You must see yourself as healed before you can be healed. And when that sign appears within you, when you begin to feel relief, when you begin to feel lighter, freer, it is because you have made a choice within your consciousness. You have chosen to accept a new state of being, a state of health, a state of wholeness. And in that choice, God begins to work in you, through you, and as you. The most important thing you must remember is that this sign is not one that comes and goes, fleeting like the waves of the ocean. No, this sign is permanent, for it marks the moment when you have decided that your body, your mind, your spirit are not bound by the circumstances you see. You are not bound by the diagnosis, the pain, the sickness, or the condition. You are free, and the moment you accept your freedom, healing begins. What is the nature of this freedom? It is the freedom to imagine yourself as whole, perfect, and complete. You see, healing is not something that happens in the future, it is something that happens now. It happens the moment you claim it. The moment you declare that you are healed, the universe responds. It responds to the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the feelings you entertain. This sign, this feeling of relief, is the gateway to your healing. But to recognize it, you must first change your perception. You must stop identifying with the problem and begin identifying with the solution. The moment you cease to focus on the symptoms and start to focus on the end result, the healed you, the healthy you, the whole you, that is the moment that healing begins to unfold in your life. It does not matter what the world says, it does not matter what the doctor says, it does not matter what the evidence of the senses might tell you. All that matters is what you choose to believe. If you believe in your healing, if you believe that God's healing power is working in you now, that belief will bring you into alignment with the divine order of life. So if you have this sign, this feeling of relief, this shift in your consciousness, then know this God is about to heal you. Healing is already in motion. It is not something far off, something you need to wait for. It is something that is happening now in the present moment. The moment you recognize it, you open the door to its full expression in your life. And so walk through that door with confidence, knowing that the power of God, your own power, is at work within you, healing you, making you whole. If you have this sign, the healing is already done. You need only to accept it, to feel it, and to allow it to unfold in its perfect time. That is the law of life, and it is always working for you as you. If you have this sign, you are in the perfect place to experience the healing you've been waiting for. The healing process is not something that happens externally. It is not a matter of waiting for the world to change or for circumstances to align. Healing begins when you allow your mind to shift, when you accept that the power of God, the divine intelligence that governs all things, works in you and through you. The moment you recognize this, everything begins to change, not because of something that happens outside of you, but because of what happens within you. Many people think healing is something they must wait for, something they must beg for or plead with a higher power to give them. But this is not how it works. Healing is not a distant event, it is a present reality. You do not need to earn healing or wait for it to arrive in some distant future. You do not need to hope for it or struggle to achieve it. You simply need to accept that it is already yours, because the healing power of God, which is your true nature, is always available to you. It is not some far-off concept, it is the very essence of who you are. The sign I am talking about is not something that appears to your eyes in a way that you can touch or feel with your physical senses. It is not something that others can see in you, or that you can measure by your temperature or by the state of your physical body. No. The sign I speak of is the inner knowing, the deep feeling within you that your healing is already happening. It is the moment when you stop fighting against the appearance of disease or discomfort and instead choose to recognize the wholeness that already exists within you. The truth is, there is no sickness or disease that can exist without your consent. That may sound shocking, but it is the truth. All sickness and suffering are the result of mistaken beliefs, incorrect perceptions, and false assumptions about yourself and the world. When you believe you are separated from your source, when you believe you are separate from the healing power that resides in you, you create the conditions that allow illness and suffering to manifest. But once you recognize that you are always connected to that divine source, the illness has no more power over you. It dissolves into nothingness. You see, healing is not a matter of time, it is a matter of perception. It is not something that you must wait for, nor is it something that you can try to force or manipulate into existence. Healing is a natural state of being, and the moment you recognize your wholeness, you enter into alignment with that state. The moment you stop focusing on what is wrong with you and begin to acknowledge what is right, healing begins. What do I mean when I say that healing is a natural state of being? I mean that your true state is one of perfect health, perfect vitality, and perfect wholeness. The only thing that ever separates you from this state is the false belief that you are anything less than that. In truth, you are created in the image and likeness of the divine. You are already whole, already perfect, already complete. This is the divine truth about you, and this is the truth that will heal you. The moment you recognize this truth, the healing process begins. The first step is always to recognize that you are more than your physical body. You are not limited by your body or money, your mind, or your circumstances. Your body, like everything else in this world, is an expression of your consciousness. It is a reflection of the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that you hold in your mind. Therefore, to heal your body, you must first heal your mind. The mind is where healing begins, because it is the mind that shapes your reality. The body, the world around you, and all of your experiences are simply a reflection of your mental state. If you believe in sickness, then sickness will manifest. If you believe in health, then health will manifest. This is not some abstract concept. It is the law of cause and effect. Your inner state of consciousness creates your outer experience. So, if you want to experience healing, you must first change your thoughts and beliefs about yourself and your body. The sign of healing is the moment when you realize that you are not your body, but the consciousness that creates it. You are not the symptoms or the disease, but the one who is aware of those symptoms and who can choose to change them. This is where your power lies. You have the power to change your reality by changing your thoughts. You have the power to choose health, to choose wholeness, to choose life, because all of this is already within you. The next step in the healing process is to align your thoughts and feelings with the idea of perfect health. This is not something that requires effort or struggle. It requires only that you recognize the truth of who you are. When you think about your body, do you see it as a vessel of perfection, or do you focus on its imperfections? When you think about your health, do you see yourself as whole and complete, or do you focus on the symptoms and the things that are wrong? You see, the law of attraction, the law of creation, is always at work. It is working through your beliefs, your thoughts, and your emotions. If you focus on what is wrong, you are only creating more of what is wrong. But if you focus on what is right, if you focus on your body as whole, healthy and perfect, you will begin to see evidence of that reality in your life. It may not happen all at once, but as you continue to focus on the truth of your healing, you will see it unfold before you. This is the power of imagination. Your imagination is the creative force within you. It is the means by which you shape your reality. And when you imagine yourself as healed, as whole, as perfect, your imagination sets in motion the forces that will bring that vision into reality. You do not need to know how it will happen. You do not need to understand the mechanics of it. All you need to do is trust in the power of your imagination and allow it to guide you to your healing. Now you may wonder, how do you know when you have this sign, when healing is truly beginning? It is simple, you feel it. You feel the shift in your consciousness. You feel the release of tension, the relaxation of your mind. You feel the weight of your worries and your doubts lifting off of you. You feel the relief that comes when you stop struggling against the illness and start accepting the truth of your perfect health. This is the sign. This is the moment when healing begins. But let me be clear about something: healing is not always instant. It may take time for the full manifestation of healing to appear in your body. But this does not mean that healing has not begun. The moment you change your consciousness, healing begins. The universe will respond to your changed state of mind, and it will bring about the necessary changes in your body, in your life, and in your world. Healing may come in many forms. It may come as a sudden, dramatic shift in your physical condition. Or it may come more gradually as you notice small improvements over time. It does not matter how it comes. What matters is that it is coming. The moment you change your consciousness, you set in motion the forces that will bring your healing into full expression. I want you to understand that healing is not something that happens outside of you. It is not something that is separate from you. Healing is a natural part of who you are. You are already whole, already perfect, already complete. The only thing that has ever stood in the way of your healing is the false belief that you are not whole, that you are not perfect, that you are not complete. Once you release that belief, once you accept the truth of your wholeness, healing will be the natural result. If you have this sign, this feeling of relief, this shift in consciousness, then you are already in the process of healing. Trust in that process. Trust in the power that is within you. Trust that your healing is already done. And know that you are not alone in this journey. The power of God, the power of the divine is with you every step of the way. All you need to do is trust and allow it to work through you. Healing is not just about the body. It is about the mind and spirit as well. When you experience healing, you experience a transformation on all levels: physical, mental, and spiritual. You become more in tune with your true nature. You become more aware of your connection to the divine. You become more in harmony with the universe and the life that flows through you. So if you have this sign, this feeling of relief, this shift in your consciousness, know that you are on the path to healing. Trust in the process. Allow it to unfold in its perfect time. And remember, the healing power is already within you. It is not something you need to seek outside of yourself. It is something that you need to recognize within yourself. When you do, the healing you desire will be your reality. Your healing is not something that is far off in the future. It is something that is happening now in this moment. The moment you change your perception, the moment you choose to accept your wholeness, healing begins. And as you continue to focus on your perfect health, on your wholeness, that healing will manifest in your life, bringing you the peace, the vitality, and the well-being that are your birthright. Remember this: if you have this sign, God is about to heal you. And that healing is already happening right now in this very moment. All you need to do is accept it, trust it, and allow it to unfold. While the desire for healing is something many seek, the most profound shift comes when we recognize that the power to heal is within us, not outside of us. You might have been conditioned to look for healing in external places, in doctors, treatments, or some divine intervention that you believe is beyond your control. But let me make this clear: healing does not come from the outside in. Healing comes from the inside out. The moment you realize that you are the creator of your reality, when you truly understand that your thoughts, your beliefs, and your feelings are shaping your life, that is when the healing begins. Healing is not a passive experience, it is a dynamic, active process. You are not waiting for something to happen to you, you are the one who creates the conditions for healing through your own consciousness. The moment you recognize this truth, you begin to shift from a mindset of helplessness to one of empowerment. You realize that you have the power to transform your life, to heal your body, and to align your experiences with your true desires. At first, this may be difficult to identify. After all, if you have been in pain for a long time, or if you have struggled with illness, you may feel as if healing is something distant, something unattainable. But the truth is, healing begins the moment you shift your focus away from the sickness or problem and begin to focus on the truth of your health, your vitality, and your wholeness. When you start to imagine yourself as healed, as strong, as full of life, you are activating the very forces of healing within you. Think about this for a moment. When you are in pain, what do you usually focus on? You focus on the pain. You focus on what is wrong. You may become consumed with thoughts of discomfort, fear, or worry. But this only perpetuates the cycle of illness. Your body responds to your thoughts, and when you focus on what is wrong, you continue to experience that reality. But the sign of healing is the moment you decide to stop focusing on the problem. Instead, you choose to imagine the solution. You begin to picture yourself healthy, whole, and at peace. You begin to feel relief and calm, and with that, the energy of healing begins to flow. The sign that healing is near is this: a shift in your awareness. A realization that your body is not separate from your mind, and that your mind is not separate from your soul. Everything is interconnected. The moment you realize this, you step into alignment with your true nature, which is health, vitality, and well-being. You stop identifying yourself with your illness or condition. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as the creator of your experience. And in this moment, healing begins. So how do you begin? It starts with something as simple as changing your focus. Focus on the healing rather than the illness. Focus on the life force within you rather than the symptoms. Imagine your body as whole and healthy. Picture your cells regenerating, your organs functioning at their peak, and your body filled with vitality. As you focus on these images, you begin to activate the energy of healing. You may not see immediate results in the physical world, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are setting the process in motion. The moment you begin to imagine yourself as whole, your body starts to respond. As you continue on this journey, remember that healing is a process. It's not something that happens in an instant, but something that unfolds as you align your thoughts and beliefs with the truth of your perfect health. Trust the process. Trust that the healing energy within you is always at work, even when you cannot see it. The more you focus on your health, the more your body will respond. You might ask, how do I know when it's really working? The truth is, the only way to know for sure is by trusting the process and being patient with yourself. Healing takes time. But as you continue to focus on your wholeness, you will start to see the signs. You will feel better, your energy will increase, your mind will become clearer, and your body will start to reflect the health that you have been imagining. Healing is a spiritual process as much as it is a physical one. It involves not just the body, but the mind and the spirit. When you heal, you are reconnecting with the divine essence that created you. You are returning to your true state of harmony and balance. And as you heal, you begin to experience a deep sense of peace and joy. Because true healing is not just the absence of illness, it is the presence of life, vitality, and love. You may not always understand how it works, but that is not necessary. What is necessary is your faith and trust in the process. Healing begins when you release doubt and embrace the truth that you are already healed, that you are already whole, and that you are already perfect. The moment you accept this truth, the healing process is set into motion. So trust in the power that resides within you. Trust in the law of mind. Trust in your ability to create the reality you desire. And know that if you have this sign, the sign of relief, the sign of peace, the sign of a shift in consciousness, then healing is already happening. The process has begun. Now all you must do is allow it to unfold with patience, trust, and gratitude. Healing is not something you must wait for. It is something you can experience right now in this moment. The power is within you. And once you recognize this, you will find that there is no limit to what you can heal, no limit to the transformation you can experience. Healing is not a distant event. It is a present reality. The moment you choose to align with the truth of your perfect health, healing becomes your experience. And that is the sign that God is about to heal you, because healing is your divine birthright, and it is already happening right now. While the path to healing may seem elusive to many, the key to unlocking it lies within you. There is no greater power than the power of your own mind, your own consciousness, your own awareness. Healing is not something that comes from an external force, it is something that originates from within. The moment you realize this truth, you will understand that healing is not something to be achieved or sought after, but something to be recognized as your inherent birthright. You are whole, you are complete, and you are already healed. But why do we so often find ourselves in the midst of sickness, disease, or discomfort? It is because we have lost sight of the truth. We have bought into the illusion that we are separate from the divine power that created us. We have come to believe that our circumstances, our bodies, our experiences are dictated by forces outside of our control. But nothing could be further from the truth. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are not the victim of disease or illness. You are the creator of your experience, and the moment you reclaim this truth, you step into a place of immense power, a place where healing is not only possible, but inevitable. Healing begins in the mind. It begins the moment you choose to see yourself as whole, perfect, and complete. The sign that healing is near is not an external event, but an internal shift. It is the moment when you stop identifying yourself with the illness or condition. It is the moment when you choose to identify yourself with your true nature, which is health, vitality, and wholeness. It is the moment when you decide that the appearance of sickness, pain, or discomfort does not define you. This is the sign that you are on the path to healing. As you recognize the truth of your own wholeness, you begin to see the shift in your body, mind, and spirit. The mind is a powerful tool, and it has the ability to create your reality. Your body is not separate from your mind, it is a reflection of the thoughts and beliefs you hold. When you begin to change your thinking, your body will follow. You will start to notice subtle changes, less pain, more energy, greater peace. These are the first signs that healing is taking place. But remember, healing is not just a physical process, it is a mental and spiritual one as well. As you heal your mind, you heal your body. As you heal your spirit, you heal your life. The sign that healing is truly at hand is when you begin to feel a sense of peace and relief. This relief may not always be dramatic, but it will be undeniable. It may show up as a quiet sense of calm, a softening of your thoughts, or a sense of lightness in your body. You may notice that the pain or discomfort you have been experiencing begins to fade, or that you feel more grounded, more centered, more alive. This is the sign that you are moving into alignment with your true nature, and as you continue to hold that alignment, healing will naturally unfold. Now you may wonder why this process of healing takes time. After all, if healing is truly a matter of changing your thoughts, why doesn't it happen instantly? The reason is that healing is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. It is a journey, and like any journey, it unfolds step by step. The more you focus on your health, the more your body will respond. But the key is to remain patient, remain trusting, and remain faithful in the process. Trust that healing is already at work, even if you cannot see the results immediately. Your faith and patience are integral to the process, as they help you stay in alignment with the truth of your healing, even when the outer world seems to reflect something different. Healing is not always linear. You may have moments of feeling better, followed by moments of feeling worse. This does not mean that your healing is not working. In fact, these moments of discomfort may be a sign that your body is releasing old patterns, old beliefs, or old energies that are no longer serving you. It is a sign that your body is clearing out the old so that the new health, vitality, and well-being can take its place. So when you experience a setback, do not become discouraged. Instead, recognize it as part of the healing process and trust that the healing is happening on a deeper level. One of the most important things to remember on this journey is that you are not alone. Healing is not something you do by yourself, it is a process of reconnecting with your source, with the divine energy that flows through you and around you. You are part of an infinite intelligence, an intelligence that knows exactly what you need to restore balance and health in your life. The moment you align your consciousness with this intelligence, healing becomes inevitable. You are not separate from the divine, you are one with it. And as you recognize this truth, you allow that divine energy to flow freely through you, bringing about the healing that you desire. There is also a great power in gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest vibrations you can embody. When you are grateful, you align yourself with the energy of abundance, healing, and joy. Gratitude opens the door to more of what you want. If you are experiencing illness or discomfort, practice gratitude for your body, for the health you do have, and for the healing that is already taking place. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from sickness to health. And as you cultivate gratitude, you will see that healing is not only possible, but inevitable. Healing is a journey of rediscovery. It is a journey back to your true nature, back to the place of perfect health, vitality, and peace that you were born with. And the moment you realize that healing is not something you have to earn or wait for, but something you must allow, you open the door to a new reality, one where health, happiness, and abundance are your natural birthright. The sign is clear, healing is near. And it is not something you have to wait for, it is something you can experience right now in this moment. Your body is a reflection of your consciousness, and as you shift your thoughts and beliefs, your body will reflect that shift. Healing is not an external event, it is an internal process, and it begins the moment you decide to claim your perfect health. You are already healed, and the sign you are waiting for is the moment you recognize this truth. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon. On the other side lies everything you've ever dreamed of: peace, abundance, purpose, and fulfillment. But between you and this paradise is an invisible bridge. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you're told it's there, waiting for you to step out into the unknown. Would you trust the unseen? Would you dare to walk forward, knowing that the next step requires faith, not sight? This is the essence of your relationship with God. Faith is the bridge, the unseen connection that allows you to move from where you are to where you are destined to be. Without it, the gulf seems impassable, but with it, miracles unfold. In the world of the physical, we rely on what we can see and touch. But when it comes to the divine, it's faith that unlocks the door to the extraordinary. Faith isn't a blind leap, it's a deliberate act of trust in a power greater than yourself. It's the recognition that God is not only with you, but within you, guiding your every step. Stay with me and I'll show you how faith transforms doubt into certainty, fear into courage, and dreams into reality. Together we'll uncover how this unseen force becomes the bridge between you and the divine. There's a reason faith is called the evidence of things unseen. It defies logic, yet it has the power to move mountains. How often have you faced situations where the odds seem stacked against you? Perhaps you've prayed for a breakthrough, only to find silence in return. Yet it's in that silence where the bridge begins to form. Faith isn't built in moments of comfort. It's forged in the fire of uncertainty, in the spaces where answers seem far away. It's in these moments that God asks you to step forward, not because you can see the way, but because you trust that the way exists. The greatest stories of triumph are not those of certainty but of faith. They are the stories of people who believed when there was no evidence, who held on when hope seemed distant. And as they walked forward, one step at a time, the invisible bridge appeared beneath their feet. Now ask yourself, what if the very thing you seek is waiting for you, just beyond the reach of your doubt? What if the answer isn't about doing more, but believing more? Hold on to these thoughts as we explore the ways faith becomes the bridge between you and God. Each step you take in faith brings you closer to a life that is guided, supported, and deeply connected to the divine. Faith serves as the invisible thread connecting the physical world you live in to the spiritual realm where creation begins. To understand this connection, you must first grasp a profound truth. Everything that exists in your life today was once unseen. Your thoughts, your dreams, your prayers, they originate in the invisible realm before they manifest in tangible form. Faith is the bridge that allows this transformation to occur. When you have faith, you are acknowledging that the unseen is just as real, if not more real, than what you can touch or see. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. For days, even weeks, you see no visible evidence of growth. But beneath the surface, an intricate process is unfolding. Faith works the same way. It doesn't rely on immediate results, but trusts that the unseen forces of God's universe are at work, shaping what will soon become visible. Faith doesn't demand proof. It isn't swayed by temporary circumstances or the limitations of logic. Instead, it trusts in a higher power, in God's perfect wisdom, and in the divine timing of things. When you align yourself with this belief, you begin to see beyond what is in front of you. Your circumstances may appear bleak, but faith tells you that what you see is not the full story. It whispers that there is more, an abundance of possibilities waiting to unfold. Consider this: every great invention, every act of courage, and every life-changing decision has stemmed from faith in the unseen. The airplane existed in the imagination of its creators long before it took flight. A thriving business was once just an idea in someone's mind. In the same way, your prayers, when backed by faith, are the unseen seeds of your future reality. Faith also connects you to God's promises, which exist in the spiritual realm, waiting for you to claim them. The Bible speaks of walking by faith, not by sight, and this is the essence of connecting the seen to the unseen. It's about stepping forward with trust, even when the path is unclear. You may not know how a dream will come to pass, but faith assures you that it will, as long as you stay aligned with God's purpose. Without faith, the bridge between the seen and the unseen collapses. Doubt and fear create barriers that prevent the flow of divine blessings into your life. But when you trust in God's power and presence, you activate this bridge, allowing the unseen to flow freely into your reality. Faith is not passive, it's active. It requires you to take steps forward even when the way is unclear. When you choose faith, you are choosing to trust the process, to believe in God's promises, and to walk confidently toward your dreams, knowing that the unseen is working tirelessly in your favor. Doubt is the natural reaction of the human mind to the unknown. It questions, it hesitates, and it seeks evidence. But faith operates on a higher plane, bypassing doubt and transforming it into certainty. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires intentional effort and a deep trust in God's ability to fulfill His promises. Doubt often arises from the fear of failure, rejection, or disappointment. It tells you that your dreams are too big, your circumstances too difficult, or your efforts too insignificant. But faith challenges these fears. It doesn't ignore them. Instead, it replaces them with a profound certainty that God's power is greater than any obstacle you face. When you truly believe in God's plan, doubt begins to lose its grip on your mind and heart. Faith doesn't deny reality, it redefines it. To the natural mind, a barren field may seem hopeless, but to a farmer with faith, it holds the promise of a bountiful harvest. In the same way, your current struggles may appear insurmountable, but faith sees them as stepping stones to greater blessings. It gives you the courage to act even when you don't have all the answers, because it assures you that God is already at work behind the scenes. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to anchor you in certainty when everything around you feels uncertain. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties don't exist. It's about knowing, deep in your soul, that God's power is greater than any challenge. This certainty allows you to move forward with confidence, even when the outcome is unclear. Faith transforms doubt by shifting your focus. Instead of dwelling on what could go wrong, it directs your attention to what could go right. It reminds you that God is in control, that His plans are always for your good, and that His timing is perfect. This shift in perspective doesn't just ease your fears, it empowers you to take action, to keep moving forward, and to trust in the process. The key to transforming doubt into certainty is to feed your faith. What you focus on grows, so if you dwell on your doubts, they will expand. But when you immerse yourself in God's Word, surround yourself with positive influences, and continually remind yourself of God's promises, your faith will strengthen. And as your faith grows, your doubts will diminish, replaced by a deep and abiding certainty in God's power and love. Faith is the gateway through which God's power flows into your life. Without faith, the connection to this divine source remains dormant. But when you believe, you open the door for God to act in extraordinary ways. Faith doesn't compel God to move, it invites Him. It aligns your heart and mind with His will, creating a space where His power can work freely. When you have faith, you are essentially saying, God, I trust you to do what I cannot. It's an act of surrender, of acknowledging that your strength alone is insufficient, but that God's strength is limitless. This act of trust creates an environment where miracles can occur, where the impossible becomes possible. God's power isn't limited by your circumstances, it's limited only by your willingness to believe. Faith invites God's power by breaking down the walls of fear and resistance that often keep us stuck. When you step out in faith, you demonstrate your trust in God's ability to provide, protect, and guide. This act of trust activates a divine response. It's not that God was ever unwilling to act, but faith positions you to receive what He has always been ready to give. Faith also changes your mindset, making you a vessel for God's power. When you believe that God is working in your life, you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You find strength in moments of weakness, hope in times of despair, and courage in the face of fear. These are not coincidences, they are the result of God's power moving through your faith. Another remarkable aspect of faith is its ability to align your desires with God's will. When you have faith, you stop striving to control every outcome and instead trust that God's plans are better than your own. This alignment allows His power to work more effectively in your life, bringing about results that are often beyond what you could have imagined. Faith doesn't mean you'll never face challenges, but it does mean you'll never face them alone. With God's power at work in your life, you can overcome any obstacle, achieve any goal, and walk confidently through any storm. This is the power of faith. It doesn't just connect you to God, it brings His power into your everyday reality, transforming your life in ways you never thought possible. Miracles often seem elusive, the kind of events we hear about but rarely experience ourselves. Yet faith holds the key to unlocking these extraordinary occurrences. Miracles are not random acts of divine intervention, they are the natural outcome of unwavering belief in God's power. When you have faith, you create the conditions for miracles to manifest in your life. Faith doesn't demand that you understand how or when a miracle will occur. Instead, it asks you to trust that it will occur in God's perfect timing and according to His divine plan. Imagine the story of the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment, believing she would be healed. Her faith, not the act itself, was what drew the miraculous healing into her life. The power was always there, but it was her faith that activated it. Faith creates a connection between your need and God's power. It shifts your focus away from limitations and onto possibilities. Instead of dwelling on the size of the mountain, faith reminds you of the one who can move it. This shift in perspective is often all it takes for miracles to begin unfolding. When you truly believe that God is capable of doing the impossible, you align yourself with the divine energy required to make it happen. Faith also opens your heart and mind to recognize miracles in forms you might not expect. Sometimes we miss the miraculous because we are too focused on a specific outcome. Faith, however, allows you to trust that God's ways are higher than your own. What may seem like a delay or disappointment could, in fact, be a miracle in disguise, a redirection towards something even greater than you imagined. Another critical aspect of faith is that it creates an environment of expectancy. When you live in faith, you are constantly looking for evidence of God's hand in your life. This expectancy is not wishful thinking, it's a deep, unwavering belief that God is actively working for your good. This mindset doesn't just prepare you to receive miracles, it often accelerates their arrival. Faith also transforms the way you respond to challenges, which can be the breeding ground for miracles. When faced with obstacles, those without faith may give in to despair. But those who trust in God see these moments as opportunities for divine intervention. It's in the darkest hours that faith shines brightest, opening the door for God to step in and do what only He can. Moreover, faith doesn't just open the door to external miracles, it also brings about internal transformation. The greatest miracles often occur within, healing a broken heart, restoring hope, or renewing a sense of purpose. These inner changes may not be as visible as parting seas or feeding multitudes, but they are no less miraculous. They are the foundation upon which all other blessings are built. Faith also draws you closer to God, the ultimate source of all miracles. When you believe, you invite His presence into your life in a powerful way. This closeness not only enhances your ability to receive miracles, but also deepens your relationship with Him, creating a cycle of faith and divine intervention that continually enriches your life. Faith teaches you to let go of the need to control outcomes. Miracles often require surrender, releasing your grip on how you think things should happen and trusting that God knows best. This act of surrender is itself an expression of faith, one that signals to God that you are ready to receive His blessings in whatever form they take. Faith opens the door to miracles not because it compels God to act, but because it positions you to receive. It aligns your thoughts, emotions, and actions with His will, creating the perfect conditions for His power to manifest. When you walk in faith, miracles stop being rare occurrences and start becoming a natural part of your life. Uncertainty is a constant in life. No matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be moments when the path ahead is unclear. It's in these moments of doubt and confusion that faith becomes your greatest ally. Faith sustains you, giving you the strength to move forward even when you cannot see the way. Faith isn't about eliminating uncertainty, it's about thriving in the midst of it. It provides an anchor for your soul, grounding you in the knowledge that God is in control. even when circumstances seem chaotic. This assurance doesn't remove the challenges you face, but it changes the way you approach them. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, you are empowered to act, trusting that God is guiding your steps. One of the most powerful ways faith sustains you is by offering peace in the storm. Life's uncertainties often stir up anxiety and fear, but faith quiets these emotions by reminding you of God's promises. When you trust in Him, you can find a sense of calm that defies logic. This peace doesn't come from knowing the outcome, but from knowing the one who holds the outcome. Faith also sustains you by giving you a sense of purpose, even when the road ahead is unclear. It reminds you that your life is part of a larger plan, one orchestrated by a loving and all-knowing God. This perspective transforms uncertainty from something to be feared into something to be embraced, as it becomes an opportunity to grow closer to Him. Another way faith sustains you is by keeping you focused on the present moment. Uncertainty often tempts you to dwell on the what-ifs of the future, but faith redirects your attention to the here and now. It encourages you to take things one step at a time, trusting that God will provide what you need for each moment. Faith also fuels resilience. When faced with setbacks or delays, those without faith may give up, but those who trust in God find the strength to persevere. They know that every challenge is part of a greater story, one that is still being written. This belief not only sustains them, but also equips them to turn obstacles into opportunities. In addition, faith creates a sense of community. When you share your faith with others, you are reminded that you are not alone in your journey. This support system can be invaluable during times of uncertainty, providing encouragement and perspective when you need it most. Together, you and your community of faith can face the unknown with courage and confidence. Faith also sustains you by nurturing hope. Uncertainty often brings with it a sense of hopelessness, but faith counters this with the assurance that better days are ahead. It allows you to hold on to the promise of God's goodness, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. Faith sustains you by fostering gratitude. Even in uncertain times, faith encourages you to recognize and appreciate the blessings you already have. This attitude of gratitude shifts your focus away from what you lack and onto what you have, creating a positive cycle that fuels your faith even further. Faith doesn't remove uncertainty, but it does transform it. It sustains you not by eliminating the unknown, but by giving you the strength, peace, and perspective to navigate it. With faith, you can face any uncertainty with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Faith is the compass that points you toward God's purpose for your life. Without faith, it's easy to wander aimlessly, searching for meaning in all the wrong places. But when you trust in God, your actions, desires, and goals begin to align with His divine plan. This alignment doesn't just bring clarity, it unleashes a power within you that propels you toward your destiny. Faith requires surrender. It's about letting go of your limited understanding and trusting that God's perspective is infinitely greater. When you have faith, you stop trying to force things to happen your way. Instead, you allow God to guide you toward what is truly meant for you. This doesn't mean you become passive, it means you become purposeful, acting with the confidence that you're on the right path. One of the first signs of alignment through faith is a sense of peace. When your life aligns with God's purpose, you no longer feel the internal tug of war between what you want and what is right. Faith bridges the gap between your human desires and God's divine will, creating harmony within your soul. This peace is not the absence of challenges, but the presence of assurance that you're walking in God's plan. Faith also opens your heart to God's voice. The noise of the world often drowns out divine guidance, but faith tunes your spiritual ears to hear Him more clearly. This could come in the form of inspiration, a sudden realization, or even a series of events that seem too perfectly timed to be coincidence. Faith enables you to recognize these moments as God's hand at work, gently steering you toward your purpose. Another powerful aspect of alignment through faith is the doors it opens. When you trust in God, opportunities that once seemed out of reach suddenly become attainable. This isn't luck, it's the result of walking in alignment with His will. God's purpose for your life is always greater than what you can imagine for yourself, and faith positions you to step into those greater opportunities. Faith also strengthens your resolve. When you know you're aligned with God's purpose, you become more resilient in the face of obstacles. Challenges no longer feel like roadblocks, they become stepping stones, each one bringing you closer to the fulfillment of your purpose. Faith gives you the courage to keep going, even when the path is steep or the journey is long. Additionally, faith creates clarity in decision making. Life is full of choices, many of which can feel overwhelming. But when you have faith, you trust that God will guide you to make the right decisions. This doesn't mean you'll always have all the answers up front, but it does mean you'll have the confidence to move forward, knowing that God is leading the way. Faith also transforms your perspective on success. In a world that often equates success with wealth, power, or recognition, faith reminds you that true success is fulfilling God's purpose for your life. This shift in perspective not only brings contentment but also helps you focus your energy on what truly matters. Faith ignites passion. When you align with God's purpose, you're no longer just going through the motions of life. You wake up each day with a sense of excitement and determination, knowing that your actions are part of a divine plan. This passion doesn't just inspire you, it inspires those around you, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond yourself. Faith is the key to aligning with God's purpose. It doesn't just show you the way, it equips you to walk it with confidence, clarity, and passion. When your life aligns with God's will, you unlock a level of fulfillment and impact that is impossible to achieve on your own. Patience and trust are among the most challenging virtues to cultivate, especially in a world that values instant gratification. Yet faith is the teacher that instills these qualities within us. It does so not by removing the need for patience, but by giving us the strength to endure and the wisdom to trust in God's timing. Faith begins by reshaping your understanding of time. To us, time is linear, a sequence of moments ticking by. But to God, time is eternal, and His plans unfold in ways that often transcend human understanding. Faith helps you accept this divine perspective, allowing you to wait with confidence rather than frustration. It reminds you that delays are not denials, they are part of a greater plan. Patience is not passive, it's an active expression of trust. It's about choosing to remain calm and steadfast, even when your prayers seem unanswered or your efforts seem fruitless. Faith sustains this patience by assuring you that God is always at work, even when you can't see the results. Just as a farmer doesn't dig up seeds to check their growth, faith teaches you to trust the process, knowing that the harvest will come in due season. Trust, on the other hand, is the foundation of patience. Without trust in God's character and promises, patience becomes impossible. Faith builds this trust by constantly reminding you of God's past faithfulness. Every answered prayer, every moment of provision, and every instance of grace serves as evidence that God is reliable. When you focus on these moments, your trust in Him deepens, making it easier to wait for His timing. Faith also transforms the way you view challenges during the waiting period. What might seem like a setback is often a setup for something greater. God uses these moments to refine your character, strengthen your resilience, and prepare you for what's to come. Faith teaches you to embrace these challenges, not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth. Another way faith instills patience and trust is by quieting the need for control. As humans, we often feel the urge to take matters into our own hands, especially when things aren't happening as quickly as we'd like. But faith teaches you that control is an illusion. True peace comes not from trying to force outcomes, but from trusting that God is in control. This surrender is not a sign of weakness but of strength, as it allows God's power to work in your life. Faith also shifts your focus from the destination to the journey. In our eagerness to achieve our goals, we often overlook the lessons and blessings along the way. Faith teaches you to appreciate each step of the journey, recognizing that God is with you every moment. This perspective doesn't just make the waiting bearable, it makes it meaningful. Patience and trust also deepen your relationship with God. When you rely on Him during periods of uncertainty, you create a bond that is unshakable. Faith teaches you to lean on Him, not just for answers but for peace, guidance, and strength. This reliance transforms waiting from a burden into a blessing, as it becomes a time to draw closer to Him. Faith inspires hope, even in the midst of waiting. It reminds you that God's plans are always for your good, even when they don't align with your timeline. This hope fuels your patience, giving you the strength to keep going, knowing that God's timing is perfect. Through faith, patience and trust become not just virtues to aspire to, but tools to navigate life's uncertainties. They allow you to wait with grace, trust with confidence, and move forward with the assurance that God's plans for you are worth the wait. Life is filled with challenges, and faith acts as the unshakable foundation that helps you face them with courage and resilience. Faith doesn't promise a life free of trials. Instead, it equips you to endure, overcome, and grow stronger through them. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, but about how you respond to it, and faith transforms your response into one of strength and purpose. Faith builds resilience by giving you a sense of purpose in the midst of difficulty. When challenges arise, it's easy to feel lost, as if life has derailed you from your path. But faith reminds you that even your struggles are part of God's greater plan. It helps you see trials not as random or meaningless, but as opportunities for growth and refinement. This perspective shifts your mindset from one of despair to one of determination. One of the most powerful ways faith fosters resilience is by providing hope. Hope is the anchor that keeps you steady when storms rage around you. It reminds you that no matter how dark the moment may seem, there is light ahead. Faith fuels this hope by assuring you that God is in control and that His plans for you are good. This assurance doesn't eliminate challenges, but it gives you the strength to endure them, knowing that better days are ahead. Faith also helps you develop the ability to persevere. Challenges often test your patience and resolve, but faith gives you the stamina to keep moving forward. It reminds you that God's timing is perfect and that your current situation, no matter how difficult, is temporary. With this perspective, you can face setbacks without losing sight of your ultimate destination. Another way faith builds resilience is by helping you shift your focus from fear to trust. Fear can be paralyzing, especially when faced with uncertainty or adversity. But faith counters fear by reminding you that God is with you in every moment. This trust in His presence and power allows you to take steps forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Instead of being overwhelmed by challenges, you approach them with confidence, knowing that you are not alone. Faith also strengthens resilience by fostering gratitude. It's easy to focus on what's going wrong during tough times, but faith encourages you to look for what's still going right. Gratitude helps you find joy even in the midst of trials, reminding you of God's blessings and faithfulness. This shift in focus not only uplifts your spirit, but also equips you to face challenges with a positive mindset. In addition to gratitude, faith teaches humility, which is a key component of resilience. When you face challenges, faith reminds you to lean not on your own understanding, but on God's wisdom. This humility allows you to accept help, seek guidance, and trust that God's plans are greater than your own. Instead of seeing challenges as defeats, you view them as lessons, each one shaping you into the person God created you to be. Faith also connects you to a community of support. When you share your faith with others, you create a network of encouragement and strength. These connections provide comfort and perspective during difficult times, reminding you that you are not alone in your struggles. Together, you and your community can face challenges with a united resilience, drawing strength from one another and from God. One of the most profound ways faith builds resilience is by transforming your identity. Through faith, you come to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as a child of God, equipped with His power and strength. This shift in identity empowers you to face challenges with confidence, knowing that you are capable of overcoming anything with God by your side. Faith builds resilience by reminding you of the bigger picture. Challenges often feel overwhelming because we view them through a narrow lens, focusing only on the present moment. But faith helps you zoom out, seeing your struggles as part of a larger story. It assures you that every trial has a purpose, every setback is temporary, and every challenge is an opportunity for God to work in your life. Faith doesn't eliminate challenges, but it transforms the way you approach them. It gives you hope in despair, strength in weakness, and purpose in uncertainty. With faith, resilience becomes not just a skill you develop, but a natural response to life's trials, empowering you to overcome anything that comes your way. Fear is one of the most crippling emotions you can experience. It can hold you back, paralyze you, and prevent you from stepping into the life God has planned for you. Faith, however, is the antidote to fear. It breaks the chains that bind you, replacing uncertainty and doubt with courage and confidence. Faith doesn't deny the existence of fear, it overcomes it. Fear thrives on the unknown, feeding off your inability to see the future or control the outcome of your circumstances. But faith shifts your focus from the unknown to the known, the unwavering truth of God's promises. When you believe that God is with you, that He is for you, and that His plans are good, fear loses its power. It can no longer dictate your actions or limit your potential. Faith also breaks the chains of fear by reminding you of God's sovereignty. Fear often arises when you feel out of control, but faith reassures you that control was never yours to begin with, it belongs to God. This realization is not disempowering, it's liberating. It allows you to release the burden of trying to control every aspect of your life, trusting instead in God's wisdom and timing. Another way faith conquers fear is by shifting your perspective on failure. Fear of failure is one of the most common and paralyzing fears, but faith reframes failure as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It reminds you that every mistake is an opportunity to learn, grow, and move closer to God's plan for your life. With this perspective, fear of failure no longer holds you back, it propels you forward. Faith also breaks the chains of fear by grounding you in God's love. The Bible tells us that perfect love casts out fear, and faith allows you to experience this love on a deep and personal level. When you know that you are loved unconditionally by the Creator of the universe, fear of rejection, inadequacy, or judgment begins to fade. This love becomes a shield, protecting you from the lies and doubts that fear tries to plant in your mind. Moreover, faith equips you to face fear head-on. It doesn't encourage avoidance or denial. Instead, it empowers you to confront your fears with courage. Faith reminds you that God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. This truth enables you to take bold steps forward even when fear tries to hold you back. Faith also replaces fear with peace. Fear often creates chaos in your mind, filling it with worst-case scenarios and endless what-ifs. But faith brings a calm assurance that God is in control, that His plans for you are good, and that His power is greater than any challenge you face. This peace doesn't just ease your fear, it eliminates its root causes, freeing you to live boldly and joyfully. Faith also helps you break free from the fear of the unknown by encouraging you to trust in God's provision. Fear often arises when you worry about what you lack, whether it's resources, time, or ability. But faith reminds you that God is your provider, that He will supply all your needs according to His riches in glory. With this assurance, fear of scarcity is replaced by confidence in His abundance. Faith breaks the chains of fear by redefining your identity. Fear often makes you feel small, inadequate, or unworthy, but faith reminds you of who you are, a child of God, created in His image and empowered by His Spirit. This identity is unshakable, and it gives you the courage to stand tall in the face of fear, knowing that you are more than a conqueror through Christ. Fear may always try to creep into your life, but faith is the weapon that defeats it every time. It doesn't just suppress fear, it destroys its foundation, allowing you to live freely and fully, unshackled by the chains of doubt and insecurity. With faith, you can face anything with confidence, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Faith is the key that unlocks the profound truth of God's presence within you. It's not merely about believing that God exists somewhere out there, it's about realizing that He resides within you, guiding, empowering, and sustaining you at every moment. This revelation transforms your understanding of who you are and what you are capable of, allowing you to live with a deep sense of purpose and confidence. When you walk in faith, you begin to see yourself as more than just a physical being navigating a chaotic world. You recognize that you are a spiritual being, created in God's image, carrying His divine spark within you. This understanding is transformative. It shifts your focus from external circumstances to the internal power that God has placed in you. No longer are you at the mercy of life's challenges. Instead, you realize you have the strength to overcome them because of who resides within you. Faith reveals God's presence through the still, small voice that speaks to your heart in moments of silence. It's the voice that offers guidance when you are uncertain, comfort when you are hurting, and encouragement when you feel like giving up. This is not your own inner voice, but the voice of God within you, reminding you that you are never alone. Faith also enables you to recognize the divine in everyday moments. It's in the kindness of a stranger, the beauty of nature, the solution to a problem that seemed impossible. These are not coincidences, they are evidence of God working in and through you. Faith opens your eyes to these moments, helping you see His presence in ways you might have otherwise overlooked. Another profound aspect of faith is how it connects your desires to God's will. The dreams and aspirations you hold dear are not random, they are often whispers of God's purpose for your life. Faith helps you discern which desires align with His plan and gives you the courage to pursue them. This alignment is not about striving, but about trusting that God is working in you to bring about His perfect will. Faith also reveals God's presence in the strength you find during times of trial. When life feels overwhelming and you're not sure how you'll make it through, it's faith that sustains you. It's the quiet assurance that God is within you, providing the resilience, wisdom, and courage you need. This inner strength is not your own. It's the power of God working through you, a constant reminder of His presence. Furthermore, faith reveals God's presence by changing the way you view yourself and others. When you realize that God lives within you, you begin to see His image in those around you as well. This perspective fosters compassion, forgiveness, and a deeper connection with others, as you understand that everyone carries the divine spark. Faith also empowers you to step into your purpose with confidence. Knowing that God is within you removes the fear of failure and the need for external validation. You don't need to seek approval from others or rely solely on your abilities, because you know that the Creator of the universe is working in and through you. This realization allows you to live boldly, taking risks and pursuing your dreams with the assurance that God is with you. Lastly, faith reveals God's presence by transforming your prayers. Instead of pleading with a distant deity, your prayers become conversations with the God who lives within you. This intimacy deepens your relationship with Him, making every aspect of your life a reflection of His presence and love. Faith doesn't just reveal that God is near, it reveals that He is here within you, guiding you, empowering you, and shaping your life in ways you can't always see but can always trust. With this awareness, you can face any challenge, embrace any opportunity, and live with the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you are never alone. Faith is the bridge that connects you to God, spanning the gap between the seen and the unseen, the possible and the impossible, the ordinary and the divine. It transforms doubt into certainty, invites God's power into your life, and opens the door to miracles. It sustains you through life's uncertainties, aligns your heart with God's purpose, and teaches you the virtues of patience and trust. Through faith, you build resilience in challenges, break the chains of fear, and discover the divine presence that has been within you all along. Faith is not a passive belief, it's an active, living force. It shapes the way you think, act, and respond to the world around you. It's the foundation that supports you in times of struggle, the compass that guides you when the path is unclear, and the fire that fuels your dreams and aspirations. Faith doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you, transforming you into the person God created you to be. So as you stand at the edge of uncertainty, remember that faith is your bridge. It's the unseen structure that will carry you to the life you were meant to live, the life that God has prepared for you. Step forward with trust, knowing that with each step, the bridge becomes stronger, and the distance between you and the divine becomes smaller. Faith is your connection to God's limitless power, love, and wisdom. It's the bridge that leads to a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Walk boldly, live confidently, and trust deeply, for with faith, all things are possible.